So welcome everyone. Thanks so much for joining. This is a really special, exciting webinar for us, welcoming the South Oakland Shelter team. Big news for those who haven't heard is that South Oakland Shelter, aka SOS, has acquired HandUp, and they will be the proud owners of the platform moving forward. For our Bay Area friends, sorry, it's not Oakland the city, but it's Oakland the county in Detroit, Michigan. So that's where HandUp will be based from moving forward. And I'm really excited to introduce Jenny Poma, the COO of South Oakland Shelter, Omari Taylor, who is their Chief Development Officer, and then Abby Adair, who does communications and marketing over at SOS. So they're going to share more about why they jumped in and why they're taking this on. But I wanted to kick us off with a little bit about HandUp and why we're making this transition. So for many of you have been on this journey with us from the early days. We started HandUp 4 years ago with a mission of providing a platform or better tech tools to human service agencies working to end homelessness in their communities. And we've done a lot at HandUp. We've grown. We've now served 100 plus nonprofits across the U.S., reached about 25,000 people experiencing poverty and homelessness, and have raised $2.5 million on the site. And we looked at this scale and this impact we'd had, and we really, wanted to take that, I guess, to the next level, and also saw limitations for us at HandUp of how far that we could really go with this model. Particularly, for some of you know, HandUp is actually structured as a for-profit, and so we continually ran up against, challenges of running this as a successful, highly scalable kind of Silicon Valley startup, while also honoring the huge impact that we've had and those numbers that I've shared. So when we kind of connected with SOS and saw they were really excited about running this as a more purely philanthropic initiative and shared our vision for impact, we were just so excited. Jenny was reached out to us actually 3 years ago. They were our first partner outside of the San Francisco Bay Area to use the platform, and have done a lot of amazing things in Detroit with it. So I'm excited to hand it over to Jenny and let her give a little bit of that background story of what they've done in Detroit. And yeah, I'll let you take it away.
Thank you, Sammy. Yeah, so to echo Sammy's excitement, we're really excited to take a more leadership role with HandUp. So if you're not too familiar with us as an agency, I thought it might be helpful seeing how this is an introduction between us and most of the partners, for you guys to hear just a little bit about who we are as a whole outside of HandUp. So we have been around for about 30 years, our agency as a whole. We started as a rotating emergency warming center, and we've since expanded. So we still operate an emergency rotating shelter, which means that we partner with over 65 congregations in our community to run our shelter throughout the year. So it's not just a warming shelter. It operates every night of the year. So we've been doing that for 30 years. That's our oldest program. That's the one that we're most well known for. But in 2009, we started to really expand and look at, okay, this is great work. We're really making an impact here, but how can we move towards our mission, which is to end homelessness? And so we really started investing in housing programs. So today we have our emergency shelter. We also have various housing programs ranging from permanent supportive housing all the way to short-term rental assistance. And we're actually moving into housing development as well. So I say all that to say our mission is really focused. All of our programs and services are really focused on homelessness and moving people out of situations of poverty and along a continuum of services. And we really view HandUp as fitting into that. Before we approached Sammy back in 2014, actually it's 3 years almost exactly, October is when we joined. It was in response to some of the gap needs we saw in our housing program. So people were in our shelter and they had some needs that were related to housing, but not covered by our housing grants, but they needed to have covered in order to move on to housing. So we thought we had the unique idea, and some of you may have heard the story, but we thought we had the unique idea of doing a crowd fundraising platform, and we realized it was not so unique, and someone was already doing it and doing it really well. So yeah, so I reached out to Sammy and became a partner. So we instantly fell in love with the platform. Fast forward to today, we spend over an average of over $3,000 a month in HandUp transactions, serving anywhere from 30 to 50 people a month, just through their HandUp profiles and the campaigns and things that we raise. So it became really an intimate part of what we do, and a very important piece of what we do here at South Oakland Shelter. And we reached a point where we kind of felt selfish, because we work with other agencies in our community, just like I'm sure all of you do, on the issues of homelessness. And we didn't feel right that only the clients that happened to get connected to us, happened to gain access into our shelter, also only had access to HandUp. We wanted to figure out ways to get more people on the platform. So that's when we applied for 2 different grants through 2 foundations that kind of work together to fund a $100,000 project. Half of that was for matching dollars for donations to the platform, and half of that was to pay for Abby, who is our HandUp Detroit coordinator, among other things. So we created a collaborative of nonprofits in different counties that already were working together, but not on fundraising strategies. And that collaborative is still operating. It's 11 agencies. We meet at least once a month. We talk about profiles. We talk about fundraising. We talk about how we can use general funds and campaign funds as a community, and how we can prioritize those funds. So it's really a collaborative, and everybody has a voice, and we're very proud of that project. Did you want to say anything about HandUp Detroit at all? No? Okay, covered it all. I covered it all.
Good job.
Thank you. So hopefully that provides a little bit of context to who we are, how we started using HandUp, how we use it today, and why it's so valuable to us, just like I'm sure it's valuable to all of you. So I wanted to move a little bit into some logistics. I'm sure people are wondering, okay, this is great. Seem like nice people. Hopefully, what does this mean for me? What's going to change? What's going to stay the same? So we're really, we have seen and witnessed and benefited from the services, the supportive services that the HandUp team has provided us. And so we really are committed to continuing to provide that level of service and that type of service to all the current and hopefully new partners to come. So we want to make that very clear. We're not going to take away any services. We're not going to take away any support. We are the key HandUp folks that you see in front of you. So we're still going to use the info@handup.org email for questions, and just know that one of us will be responding. So you have hopefully a face with a name. So it's not to worry, on your part, who to email for what. If you have a profile question versus a campaign question, we're going to work as a team, and we're going to assign, we're going to figure out who's best equipped to answer whatever specific question you have. With that in mind, I'm also happy to connect with people one-on-one. If you have a technical question or just want to reach out and do an introduction, you can always reach out to me. Again, I'm Jenny at oaklandshelter.org, and we can communicate directly as well. I'm definitely happy to do that. And as we're approaching the end of year, I know that a lot of agencies, including ourselves, we do end of year campaigns and appeals and may use HandUp for some of that activity. We are contracting with Patricia, who I'm sure a lot of you know by name and have communicated with. She's going to be providing some end-of-year support to all of the HandUp agencies for those of you who are doing campaigns or activities specifically around the holidays. We have her during that time, so she'll be offering a lot of support. So you can continue to communicate with her in the way that you always have, and you can also use the info at HandUp, and we can direct emails to her as well. Sam, did you want to talk about the gift card program?
Yes. Again, just echoing how excited we are at the leadership that SOS has taken throughout the past, and then also now stepping in with HandUp. And unfortunately, you know, one of the programs that we won't be able to continue in the midterm, at least, or in the short term, is the HandUp gift card program. So you might have seen that in the announcement. But basically, it's a program that just really requires a lot of, you know, printing gift cards and sending those to local partners and keeping those local relationships up and running. So we are putting that on pause in San Francisco and are hoping that we'll kind of rally some partnerships back up in the Bay Area so we can get that back online. But that's something we'll definitely communicate as that opportunity becomes available again. And some of you might not even know what gift cards are, so don't worry. But yeah, if we do bring that back on, we'll make sure everyone knows what they are and how it works. Yeah, and I think that brings us about to a close. And you know, I think it'd just be great for you and the SOS team maybe just to share a little bit of where you see this going and what your kind of plans are taking this forward.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. And by the way, if anyone has questions, I know it's on the Google, the Zoom group chat, but you can type questions and we're happy to answer any questions that people have during this webinar and after as well.
Hello, this is Dion Roberts from San Francisco. Can you hear me?
Oh, hi. We're,
hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, Sammy. Thanks. I tuned in, I guess, about maybe 5 minutes after 11 or so. So I did hear your introduction and I did hear Jenny speak as well. I don't really have a question, I guess. I just want to say, you know, that HandUp has been great for us. We're a nonprofit organization. We provide housing and supportive services for formerly homeless women. And the most that we've used HandUp for, which actually has been very beneficial to a lot of residents, is, you know, they just create a profile, and, you know, they request or, you know, tell a story about, you know, a need, a short-term kind of immediate need that they have. And so far that's really worked for a lot of residents who have gotten things like laptops, you know, and school supplies and phone cards, you know, things like that. So it seems to be a very streamlined process for us. And, you know, I guess we can expect that to just, you know, the transition to be pretty seamless, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the goal. That's great. It sounds like you're kind of using it in a similar way that SOS is using it. So it's really integrated into your policies and your procedures and your case management tools. We view it yes, it's a development tool, but we really view it as a case management tool, the profile piece. Sounds like you're doing that as well. So yeah, so none of that has to change. It's more, you know, for you, maybe if you have a question about a redemption or a question about, oops, we accidentally, you know, said we redeemed the funds for X purpose, but we actually ended up doing it for this purpose or whatnot, we would be the people to help you through that and to make those corrections. So we don't expect that the services will change. We fully are committed to making sure that everyone feels supported during this transition, and that, you know, the services that Patricia and Katrina and Sammy we're giving you, that we're going to be able to give it to you as well. Sammy and Patricia have been training us very vigorously for over the course of some time. So we have the handbook, we have the HandUp handbook, so to speak. And just know that this has been the case for us, and I'm assuming it has been the case for most HandUp partners. Most of the support that we will provide is going to be virtual, right? It's going to be email. We can definitely hop on the phone and do conference calls and things like that. Whether it's one-on-one or training with new staff or things like that, we can offer some support in that realm. But most of the communications you can expect from us are going to be probably email. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it all stays the same, except that now we'll just have new people that we're communicating with if there's a need for technical support or anything like that.
Yeah, I think that's
exactly.
Okay.
And thank you, Dion, for your comments and continued partnership. We definitely have a lot of respect for what you're doing at Mary Elizabeth Inn. So yeah, thank you for chiming in. And maybe before we go to more questions, I'd love to have SOS just give a little teaser to where you want to take HandUp moving forward.
Sure. So we recently slightly changed our mission from ending homelessness by mobilizing communities to building communities that end homelessness. So that's a change, and partially to incorporate our new work with HandUp. So building communities could be, in our backyards, but also virtually through nonprofit partnerships, whether they're in Michigan or beyond, and also online through donors and things like that. The activities that we've been doing through HandUp and the success and the impact that it's had on our clients has really showed us, how powerful online communities can be in addressing the needs of the folks that we serve. So we really view this as really fitting in really nicely with that mission, and will help us forward that mission. We have had great success with the HandUp Detroit Collaborative that I referenced earlier. And I think long term, this is nothing that's going to happen today or tomorrow, or maybe not even the next 6 months, but long term, I think it would be really great to explore how to create that kind of partnership. And maybe it already exists in the Bay Area, where there's such a high concentration of agencies using this platform, of those agencies connecting, whether it's virtually or in person, and sharing what they're doing and how strategies can be coordinated across those agencies. So we view that as potentially a next step. Like I said, long term, we're thinking, big. This is big vision, pie in the sky stuff. But to create collaborative groups across in different communities to use the platform and to work together to do that. So that's kind of our long-term goal, but the short-term goal, to echo, Dion's questions, is really to maintain the platform for all the current partner agencies, to definitely welcome new partner agencies on, people who are interested. We're not going to stop, enrollment if folks are interested. But really, in the short term, making sure that we understand, how to operate it fully. We understand your needs. I think we do, because we are a partner agency and we're on it, and we've used the platform for 3 years. So I think in that way, we're, a good fit to carry it on, because we have been using it. We kind of have a sense of what partners expect and need as far as support for the platform.
Yes. Yeah. And yeah, we're really excited about that vision. For those who are maybe familiar with like different sort of collaborations across the country, we really think this is a model that the National Alliance has been pushing a lot, that the U.S. Interagency Council on Homelessness has been pushing a lot, really trying to encourage nonprofits to collaborate and share resources, and particularly around housing. I think it's such a great model that SOS developed in Detroit for, having a fund available to remove those barriers, getting folks into housing. And I think it'll be exciting to see how that spreads to other places as well. If you haven't seen, there's a little chat bubble at the bottom. So if you prefer to type your question versus unmuting yourself and saying it out loud, feel free to click that little chat bubble. It looks like we have one from Angela. She says, has SOS or HandUp had a chance to reveal future collaboratives like the Google funded sponsorship or fundraising campaigns? That's a great question. Thanks for bringing that up, Angela. So as you all know, we're about at the end. We've finished the second Google.org matching grant that we had available for this year. And I'll let Jenny and SOS speak. I mean, they did raise a $50,000 grant from a local Detroit-based foundation, and I know continuing to try to make those matching partnerships is part of your plan. So I'll let you speak to that.
Yeah, absolutely. We know the value of match dollars. They go a long way. They're really important for a lot of different reasons. It's not just the cash value, but it's really a way to engage new donors and existing donors to continue to use the platform. So we hope to seek more funding for that, not just in the Detroit area, but across the platform at large. And we do have a couple relationships with some foundations, and we are engaging them in conversations around funding specifically for match across the national platform. So we hope to definitely do that. Happy to work with any partner agency who you think you have, a lead or a foundation that might be interested in a collaborative kind of grant application. We have experience doing collaborative grant applications. I am the grant writer here, among other things. So I would be the person more than likely you would be working with. So happy to do that as well. But yes, on our end, as the agency that's administering HandUp, we will also be seeking funds for match.
Yeah. And I'm not going to be full-time on HandUp anymore, but I am going to stay on as an advisor and support SOS. So I won't be too far, and definitely I'm not afraid to knock on some doors and try to help on that front as well. We have a question from Melissa, do you guys promote all campaigns as well as the people who post them? So I think this is just kind of curiosity around like how we go about promoting different campaigns. And I know on the HandUp end, usually our kind of somewhat of a rule is that once they hit 30% of a goal, then we try to get those either on the homepage or promoted through our social media. We do find that online donors more broadly who don't know your organization personally tend to not give as much until they see there's actually some momentum with your campaign. So I'll let SOS speak to how you'll continue to manage the social media side, but that's kind of been the way we've chosen campaigns to promote.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that makes sense, and I think that's kind of we saw that when we did our Detroit collaborative campaign. We really made like the initial push locally first before we even made it live. And Melissa, maybe this is something that you have done, but before we even made it live, we asked our personal contacts to get it to that level that Sammy was saying before. We asked HandUp to push it more broadly across, nationwide. So I think that's the same sort of standard that we would like to uphold moving forward. That said, we're definitely really open to if you have a particular deadline or a particular opportunity, or if there's something coming up that we should know about that would really benefit from, a bigger email or a more strategized process, whether it's social media or an email at large. Again, you can email that info@HandUp or me directly, and we can talk through that and see if we can schedule it. So we are, I think there's sort of a rule of thumb of best practices, things that have worked in the past, but we're definitely open to working with partner agencies with things that make sense for you in that time.
Yeah. And so Penny here is asking, will SOS be maintaining the mechanics of the HandUp donations, for instance, issuing monthly disbursements to partners? So for everything that doesn't come through Stripe, so most of you, majority of your funds automatically are coming straight to you through Stripe. You want to speak to your monthly disbursement of the other funds?
Yeah, so if things don't go through Stripe, yes, we would be the ones to cut those checks to you. We have a process in place that those will get cut within the first week of the following month. So hopefully you guys will still be getting that in a timely manner. If things change with where, who the check should be addressed to or where they should be sent, we've inherited all that information from Sammy and her team. But if things change, please keep us in the loop. But yes, we will be the ones sending.
Great. All right. Well, we'll give any other last minute burning questions. I think we've covered quite a bit. And I will say one thing, many of you know HandUp is we've been a pretty small team of only, 6 of us at our biggest. So I think one thing we're actually really excited for is that SOS's team, is, 30 people at SOS or?
Yeah, around 30 total.
Around 30, yeah. So not that everybody there is going to be doing HandUp, but I think just having a CFO who manages the check writing and everybody just, having so much experience and not only, having the personal experience running HandUp, but also being just such a well-respected housing agency that does the same work as most of the folks using HandUp. I think it's going to be a really powerful, way to help our partners even more. So we're really excited about that aspect.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless you have any closing thoughts on the Detroit side, I think we can wrap up.
Yeah, I think we're good. We're
All
really
right.
excited to meet everyone virtually and maybe in emails and phone calls moving forward. But
awesome. Well, thank you again, everyone. It's been just such an amazing pleasure of my career to be able to start this and see it continue to run with such a great organization, and just have so much respect for all the people who are out there doing this work. It's so important, and we hope our tool we built here will continue helping you do that. So lots of love from San Francisco, and enjoy your day, everyone.
Great. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.